Let's talk about the reads that I want to potentially get to in November. I always think November is the coziest month. You have Thanksgiving, which is all about family and just being around people, cozying up around the fire, having talks about family memories, or just being with friends. So let's talk about books that I hope I get to in this cozy month. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I cannot wait to tell you about all of these reads. Some of them you have seen on my TBR recently. There might be like one or two that might be new, but these are still on my radar and I think this is the perfect time to read them. Like I mentioned, November is such a cozy month for me because it is all about fall and cozying up with your blanket, being around the fire, surrounding yourselves with friends, family, loved ones, whichever you prefer. And to me, cozy reads are probably different than what you expect cozy reads to be. I am not a cozy reader, and in that I mean I don't like the cozy, very low stakes, we're just gonna talk through the whole book type of vibe. I like books that make me immersed in them, where I forget about the entire world, ones that are maybe a little bit lengthier, and books that have maybe a darker setting, books that maybe have that fall or misty gothic vibe. I also feel like for myself, fantasy books are also very cozy, and I have a couple fantasy in this stack. So let's just get into these books. So like I said, again, my version of cozy might not be your version of cozy, but I hope that maybe you'll read one of these books in the month of November with me. I definitely want to get to Dire Bound by Fable Sorensen. I know this was recently picked up traditionally. This is the indie version. This is definitely on the lengthier side because it is a fantasy. I am ready to dive in and find out why people are so in love with this book. I've heard that people say it's Fourth Wing with dire wolves. I don't really want another Fourth Wing book, but what really got me was that there are trials and dire wolves and a whole different vibe and setting. So I'm ready to dive into this because I feel like I am behind and I want to know why this book is so hyped. The next one I want to get to is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. This is the traditionally published version. I did just recently read the indie version and I heard that there was a lot of rework that happened and the story kind of changed in variations. So I'm excited to see what happens in this traditionally published version. I really loved the romance and the characters, the banter. Everything was so engrossing. I guess I couldn't stop flipping the pages, so I can only imagine with the edits that they probably did and the changes that it probably only got better, but I really want to read this. I am still making my way through the indie version of this book, but I definitely want to read the traditionally published version of Heavenly Bodies by Amani Ariu. I really am loving this indie version. I'm finding it hard to find time to read, but when I do, I am very engrossed. I love the banter. I like the world. I like the world building, and I love a lot of aspects about this book. So I'm ready to get into the traditionally published version so I can see what has changed about the book. Also, the Fairy Loot edition is so stunning that I don't want to read it physically, but I am gonna have to if I want to read this version. I also want to read House of Blight by Maxim M. Martineau. I've had this since it released back in, I think, April, and I've been wanting to get to it. I think it might be a standalone. Correct me in the comments if I am wrong, but this is about a girl who, if she uses her magic, I think she curses herself. Withholding her magic will save her life. Using her magic could save the world. So there's gonna be definitely a lot of push and pull on what she wants to do. This just gives me cozy vibes. I really wanted to get to it in October. However, I didn't get to that, so here we are. The next one I do want to get to is Catabasis. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, by R.F. Kuang. I have only read one other book by R.F. Kuang, which is Yellowface. I know in a previous video I said I hadn't read anything by her, but I have, and I really enjoyed that book. The writing style, everything about it was really good. It kept me on the edge of my seat. This one I have heard is really, really good because it's kind of like dark academia vibes. There is a little bit of a romance, I think, in here. So I think if I'm going to try anything by R.F. Kuang outside of the suspense thriller craziness of Yellowface, I think this is the one that I'm gonna want to try. And y'all have seen the next book on my TBR I don't know how many times, but I am determined by the end of this year this book will have been read. And if not, then I'm going to be mad at myself. And that is An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. I've had this book for over a year now. I want to get to it so bad. Dark academia vibes. I really want to get to it. And what better time than like a cozy November where I can just snuggle up on my couch, kind of get lost in a world full of dark academia, gothic, suspense, horror, maybe even a little bit of romance. Who knows what's in this book? I'm just throwing genres out there hoping that one of them sticks. But I definitely want to get to this because this was the Evernight edition back in October of last year. So I think it's time that I get this read. And the last book that is on my cozy November TBR is A Reign of Shadow and Endings by Melissa K. Rorick. I want to read this. I want to continue this series. Granted, this is a spin-off series from the Lady of Darkness series that I did finish a couple months ago, but I've heard this one is darker, has a lot more going on. The romance is really good, so I need to get to this because I think the fourth and final book is coming out or has just recently came out. So I really want to get to this and see kind of what the legacies are about. You get introduced to them towards the end of Lady of Darkness, and I'm ready to explore their world. I like how the legacies and Fae are together. I kind of like how they have this bond and they need to trust each other, and I can't wait to see how that's going to play out in this book. Alright everyone, those are all the books that I'm hoping to get to in November. It is a very ambitious TBR. Extremely ambitious. However, I'm hoping that I get to some of these and then I can just roll them into December because winter time also is that cozy time. You don't want to go out. You don't want to do anything. You just want to bundle up in a sweater and a blanket and just be warm and cozy all winter long. So I'm definitely ready for all the vibes that this time of year brings. Let me know in the comments below, are there any books that you are planning on reading in November because of the cozy vibes? Give me some recommendations down below. I don't mind those either. And if you do not want to leave me a comment, but at least let me know you are here, leave me a pumpkin emoji down below for fall. I am so excited for this time of year. Finally, where I live, we are just now getting some fall type weather, and that's very debatable because we have had 80-degree days and we live in like the middle of the United States. It should be colder than it is, and I'm sad about it. So give me all the fall vibes below and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!